Hello dudes, Axel here. Welcome to yet another Linux video. So, I had some trouble actually deciding what exactly I wanted to do for this one. So, as you can probably already tell by whatever the title of this is, it's to do with KDE and Solus and things such as that. So this is going to kind of sort of be a hybrid between a very early look at Plasmas. I just combined Solus and Plasma. Brilliant. Plasmas! No, Plasma on Solus, and also a why I like KDE thing. The title should reflect some combination of those things. I don't know exactly how I'm going to word it yet, because I'm still recording the video. And I don't script these things because I'm an intelligent person. Anyway, side note, this is my first sort of video like this, where I'm using my DSLR hooked up through my capture device instead of my webcam, so theoretically things should look better. In the raw footage of the recording, there's a bunch of noise and stuff because I don't have proper lighting, but I should be able to do something about that in post, so maybe? Assuming Resolve on Linux allows me to have this stuff. Anyway, whatever. Not the point. So, we're going to be taking a look, an early look. Keep in mind, this is an early look at Plasma on Solus. There is no official installable ISO for Plasma on Solus. You can't do an easy command to install the Plasma desktop on Solus yet, like you can with Budgie and Mate, and kind of to an extent Gnome, except it's slightly less simple. It's still simple, but either way, not officially supported on Solus quite yet, but we are getting there. The way that I have it installed now, let me go ahead and switch over to it so you can see stuff. The way I have it installed right now is, let me also move that so you can see my taskbar. Oh my god, I finally moved my facecam window, whoa, which I still need to do for like alien isolation, not the point. So, as I have things now with it installed through pretty much what I did was just installed all of the KDE desktop, and let me go ahead and open up the software center real quick. Which, there are some quirks with how it is right now. We'll get into those a little bit later, but basically, to achieve this, to install it, if you are running Solus and want to run KDE Plasma, which, again, not supported yet, keep that in mind. It's getting there, but we're not quite there yet. Basically, installing everything under KDE Desktop and KDE Desktop Core System, that does not have all of the packages that will be installed in the, for the default layout whenever they do get to the ISO, because there's some things that aren't in these two, such as like contact and things like that, which some people might not even care to use anyway. But anyway, basically installed everything under KDE Desktop and KDE Desktop Core System. I've heard some things say you also want to install, or at least one source somewhere say you also want to install everything under this. I don't have it like that, but I don't know if you need to or not. I mean, most of the things under the cute whatever are installed. But anyway, that's how you get to this state, and it is usable. It is completely usable. It's just there's some noticeable missing bits of polish here and there, which we'll get into in a moment. So before I get into the why I like KDE part, we're going to get to the more of the state of Plasma on Solus first, just to get that out of the way. So, like I said, it is completely usable. Pretty much just about everything does work. There are some little quirks, though. Now, not an issue with the testing ISO they did, but like installing it this way for some reason, single click to go into folders does not work, even though I do have it set like that in the settings. So I don't know if that's some conflict with other like config stuff for GTK based desktops. I don't know why it's like that, because like there is a testing ISO exclusive for patrons, and like it works just fine in that. So I don't know why it doesn't work like installing stuff through the software center, but whatever. That's a very minor thing, but it's one of the most noticeable that I've seen. There was another thing, right? Another thing with I mostly noticed it with the software center. It might apply to like any GTK application though. If we just, for example, go in here real quick, sometimes my scroll wheel does not like to work, and I've only noticed it with the software center so far, but it is a little thing to take note of. I don't know why that happens. It's only occasionally. It just fixes itself at random. Let me see if I can trigger it here. Probably won't be able to because I'm recording and trying to show it off, but yeah, like sometimes I'm just not able to scroll with the mouse wheel for some reason. Anyway, those are really the only major issues I've noticed, except for one other occasional thing that's happened to me, which is I don't know what even causes it, but like just trying to do things that I guess are more intensive. That would I guess it's maybe a K-Win thing, but I don't know. It seems it just like crashes the plasma session for some reason. So it makes everything go dark except for my cursor. It's kind of weird. But that's only happened like twice. But then I've only been testing it like this since yesterday. So, like I said, keep in mind, early look at plasma on Solus. Things are still being like finalized and whatnot. So just keep that in mind. It's not officially supported yet, but I couldn't help myself. I just really wanted to be running Plasma because I love the Plasma desktop. I love the KDE applications and all of that stuff. So with that out of the way for the state of Solus on Plasma, we're going to go into why I like KDE so much, because I really do love KDE as much as I love like how the workflow is with Gnome. There's just so many things I love about KDE, and it was one of the things I really missed when I switched to Solus. I've thought about, I've mentioned before in the past that I like to have a secondary Ubuntu partition installed for various reasons, and for the most part, I was getting to the point where it's like, you know what, I don't really need it anymore, but then I realized there is like one very super niche thing that I do need it for at this time, which... Actually, I could probably do in a virtual machine. No, I couldn't because I'm rambling. Anyway, there's like a couple very little niche things that I do still need an Ubuntu install for. And for that, I thought about doing either KDE Neon or Kubuntu. The reason I'm not doing KDE Neon is because for some reason, the past couple times I tried installing KDE Neon, whenever I ran updates, it just broke. Like... I don't even know how to explain it. It just completely broke, and like I wouldn't get any display output. So yeah, I don't know if that was like some weird driver issue or something with the kernel or what, but it just broke. So yeah, I wouldn't mind having KDE Neon running on my secondary partition, but it just broke on me, so I don't know. I was also going to take a look at Kubuntu 1710 for this video, actually. I was going to do a look at Kubuntu 1710 plus why I like Plasma. But honestly, I just couldn't be bothered to get things set up because I was just like, okay, you know what? I want to run Solus for this. We're doing Solus, so I just did this instead. And despite the issues I've run into, I'd say it's still worth it. So anyway, first thing you guys will notice if you're KDE Plasma fans is that this is not the default look for Dolphin here. So I like to set the top bar here to icons only. There is no icon for sort by, unfortunately, but yeah, and I make them kind of big because I'm running a 1440p monitor, and that just looks a little better. It's maybe a little too big, but you know what? Easy to click. Yeah, it might look kind of tacky to some people. I don't care. Whatever. Also, these on the left here by default are like set to small, which it's not bad. Medium's good too. I don't know. I like having them large. I have a lot of devices. Anyway, you also won't have a lot of these favorites over here by default, which is the weirdest thing, which is also a thing that was actually in the test ISO. You do have a lot of the sensible shortcuts in the left here. That's a separate one. That's like my own folder there. That's for like not music stuff, but like video production type stuff, like sound effects and whatnot. Anyway, can you tell all the different video editing stuff I've tried? Oh my god. Anyway, the point of what I was trying to get into there is the number one thing that I love about KDE, and most other people who use it love about KDE, is the flexibility. If I had to describe Gnome and Plasma with one word each, Gnome would be, we'll say integration. Plasma would be flexibility. So with Gnome, everything is very like streamlined and very all integrated together into one just cohesive experience. Plasma, I'd still say things are quite cohesive, but they're also very flexible in that you can pretty much do whatever you want with them, which can be daunting for a lot of people. And honestly, whenever I'm setting up a fresh install of a distro with KDE on it, it's like, okay, I need to set all these things how I like them. Yay! But once you get past that point, it's like, okay, now it's exactly how I like it. Yay! And you can still tweak however you want to after that point. Right, now by default, the panel down here is, by default, it's a light theme, but Solus has its, by default, the dark theme, which I don't mind too much. I think it looks pretty good. Anyway, flexibility with Plasma is fantastic, and that also extends to the applications. One of the things that Gnome is notorious for with their things is basically, to put it harshly, gutting the Nautilus file manager of a lot of the features it had, which, like, for example, Linux Mint with Cinnamon, they forked Nautilus, I believe it's version 3.4, they forked into Nemo. Because I guess with 3.6 of Nautilus, they started removing features, which, that's another thing. Plasma does not really remove features, if at all, whereas Gnome does to make things more simple and streamlined. I guess streamlined would have been another good word for describing Gnome, but I think integration works too. So either streamlined or integration, take your pick, but Plasma is definitely flexibility. Another thing, now, I hear a lot of people say they don't like the default look for Plasma. I do. I like the Breeze theme a lot. I do think there are some themes that look just as good, though. Like the Arc KDE theme actually does look quite nice. I do like that as well. I've seen there's also an Adapta KDE theme now. I might have to look into that sometime. But I do like the Breeze theme. And if you tell me that Gnome's default theme is better than this, you're entitled to your own opinion. I respect your opinion, but I strongly disagree with it. I don't like the Idoida theme at all. Like, I don't know, I just don't like, I just don't like how it looks. Whereas I am kind of a fan of more modern, flatter themes, like with Breeze, so I like the default theme with Plasma here. It's quite nice. I did switch to the Papyrus icons. Now, I do also like the Breeze icons, those are nice. But Papyrus is, well, for one thing, definitely my favorite icon theme on GTK desktops. And it's also on GTK desktops. And with Papyrus, you get more, you get all of the icons looking more similar, whereas with Breeze, they leave a lot of them default, which makes sense, so that those applications can still have their own branding and stuff. But I like using Papyrus, get everything a more cohesive, uniform look. Another thing, going back into like the flexibility and all that stuff, the default audio thing, I've seen seen people say they don't like it in some ways, but I like it because it's actually functional. And that reminds me of one kind of ironic thing. One application that I usually think should be included by default in like pretty much any distro is Pulse Audio Volume Control. The one time I've seen it included by default recently was in Kubuntu 17.10, and the irony there is that, in my opinion, if you have a KDE desktop, KDE Plasma, if you're running a Plasma desktop, you don't even need it because the default audio stuff works very nicely anyway. And like, of all things, Kubuntu is the one distro I've seen include Pulse Audio Volume Control by default. So that's just funny to me. Pulse Audio Volume Control is arguably still better than this, but this still works super well. So I do like the audio application here in KDE. It's very nice as well. Of course, now I'm starting to get more into the applications that are part of KDE rather than the desktop itself. But I mean, that's all part of the experience. Like, much like with Gnome, you get all the Gnome applications. With KDE, you get all the KDE applications. Like, the Dolphin file manager itself is fantastic because you're not gimped of features. Now, this top bar here, to many people, might look like there's a whole lot of crap that I don't need. You'd probably be right. But, yeah, nice things you can do. Like, you can have the terminal open just in Dolphin itself, which is great. You can also easily open a terminal at the click of a button wherever you are, which is also great. You get search stuff. You get to manually enter the directory, which you might be able to do in Nautilus. I don't really know. I will admit, one little thing that does bug me a little about Dolphin is, let's say if I go into my videos folder here, I don't get to see the entire directory that I'm at unless I click on that. Never mind, I've never clicked on that little greater than sign before. There's probably a better word for that. I've never actually clicked on that, but oh look, I can see the whole. I kind of wish it would show that. Okay, never mind. You can enable it. That should be default if you ask me. Okay, well, there goes that complaint. All right, never mind. Dolphin's perfect. Okay, honestly, I never even really use sort by. I probably should. Right, that's another thing that's great with Dolphin. You might be able to set this in Nautilus too, but you can, that's the wrong thing. Hold on. I'm going to do configure Dolphin. Navigation? No. General? Yeah, you can either remember properties for each folder or use common properties, and I usually leave it to this, even though I do kind of sometimes like things looking the same, but in general, it's probably nicer to have them all separate. Yeah, okay, the point is, there's a whole lot of things I could say about individual applications, but what it really all comes down to is flexibility and packing features. And a lot of things like that are why I like KDE. Another great thing, though, with Plasma in general is performance. With Gnome, now on my system, I'm running a Ryzen 7 1700. I have a GTX 980 Ti in there, and 16 gigabytes of RAM. And so obviously for my system, it's not as big of a problem, but even with that in mind, I do still sometimes have noticeable little hitches with Gnome. I'm not going to say they're completely gone with Plasma, but they're in general a lot better. So, yeah, yay for Plasma Desktop. Yay for the Plasma Desktop. Anyway, I'm going to end off with one little super minor thing that I just randomly found out about the other day due to a Brian Lunduke video, and I was like, what the hell is that terminal? That looks awesome. This is the cool retro term. I don't know why the top bar is like that. That's only happened on the Plasma Desktop here for some reason, but we can just hide that. I don't need that. So, cool retro term. I like it because it reminds me of like Fallout terminals from the Fallout series. Wait a second, that doesn't look right. Hold on. Did it forget my settings? What the fuck? Where's my other profile? Wait a minute. Hold on, something's not right here. One sec. Wait, now it looks normal. Wait, does it? Hold on. No, it doesn't. Wait a second. Let me go here real quick. This is where it's supposed to... Hold on. Wait, I called a new one. It didn't save my profile stuff. What the hell? I saved a new profile for the new stuff I had set. What do you... Right? I know I did. Hold on. The fuck happened to my profile? Okay, don't worry about that. If you're wondering why I have a ping command running in this terminal, it's because my power line adapter likes to cut out a lot. This prevents that from happening. Anyway, let me go back over here. I don't know why my profile is gone. I set a new one to reduce the bloom and other things, but apparently it decided to ignore that. What did I just do? What the fuck did I just do? Oh god. What did I do? Well, I've broken things. I have broken things. I broke my face cam. I hit the wrong button. I was trying to go back into this view, and instead I hit Control S, which just stretched my face cam across the thing on OBS. Oh god, this got derailed so bad. That's going to be it for this one. If you want to see more looks at Linux desktops, I'm probably going to do some more in the future. But the two that I've used the most are Gnome and KDE Plasma. Also Budgie a little bit. Well, I shouldn't say a little bit. I did mostly switch to Budgie before I installed Plasma here. We're going to turn off my face for now because I need to fix that now. Oh, God. Awkward. Okay, where are we? Are we on the right one? No, we need to go back to this one. Wait, I am on this one. I just had that minimized. I'm confusing my... Oh, God. Okay, this got totally derailed. This is... Oh, man. Okay, that's it for this one. See you guys next time.